We've got a complete breakdown of everything revealed for the 100th anniversary in 2023, new benefits added to Genie Plus, and great news for fans of guided tours in the parks. All this coming up next on Fresh Baked. Hi guys, David here with Fresh Baked, and we've got a really fun update for you on what's going to be happening for the 100th anniversary of the Walt Disney Company as celebrated at the Disneyland Resort in 2023. Nearly 100 years ago, Walt Disney set up his animation studio Shingle in Burbank, and in 2023, we're going to party. Now, as we mentioned in yesterday's impromptu live stream, the star of that announcement, as far as we're concerned, is the confirmation first that the celebration is going to begin on January 27th, but on that day, we will also be seeing the opening of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Now, I found this news to be entirely unexpected, surprising if you consider the bad run that Disney has been getting recently for how long it's been taking them to build Tron, how long it's been taking them just to get started on Tiana's Bayou Adventure. That's a topic we're going to be getting to in a minute as well. But Runaway Railway is going to be reopening seemingly ahead of schedule, albeit just a few months, but ahead of schedule just the same. It will open on the 27th, but the rest of Toontown, that project is still not yet finished. That's scheduled to reopen in the spring of 2023. Now, we're going to talk about some of the specifics of that news of Toontown and Railway, but first I want to get to the rest of what other things were announced for the 100th anniversary beginning in January. New costumes for Mickey and Minnie, both with a platinum glow-up. Minnie with the platinum dress and bow, Mickey with the matching platinum jacket, and those shoes are going to be bright and shiny platinum as well. The post from Disney also teases a new Mickey popcorn bucket. That too will have a platinum shine with the shimmering shoes, and I kind of like the purple shorts. It's an interesting visual twist on the classic Mickey outfit. And what's a celebration without a custom Spirit jersey? Don't answer that. It's rhetorical. It will never happen. Here's the 100th anniversary Spirit jersey with the Sensational Six in their platinum best. You can see also references to the new fireworks show, which we'll get into in a minute as well. And we've also got Tinkerbell and Chip and Dale appearing on the Spirit jersey. The characters aren't the only ones getting a glow up for the celebration. So too will Sleeping Beauty Castle. More platinum. Banners and bunting on the castle with a special banner over the castle drawbridge, and it looks like it's going to be placed there by Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather, which I think is a lovely touch. They've topped off the center tower with a new wishing star and what looks to be a little bit of flourish underneath it. On that, I will say that one of my favorite pastimes whenever I go to Disneyland is making wishes. I make literal wishes every time I see the fireworks show and the wishing stars go by, the fireworks. Whenever I go on Pinocchio's Daring Journey and I see the wishing star there, whenever I go to Snow White's grotto, I make a wish at the well. Many of those wishes have come true, Fresh Baked. So I hope the universe is ready for an abundance of wishes from Fresh Baked every time I cross that bridge and head through Sleeping Beauty Castle. And this actually is very reminiscent of Disneyland's 60th birthday, but one thing we appear to be getting that they didn't have then were matching fountains in the moat surrounding the castle. I think I love this. I was not expecting for them to do a little bit extra like this, putting those fountains in there. So I think it's a great addition. It gives an already gorgeous setting a little more movement and spectacle. Stay tuned for a construction video sometime in the near future where we'll try to find these new fountains installed. And I wonder if these will stick around beyond 2023 into 2024. I don't see any reason why they couldn't, but that would be neat if we could keep those fountains permanently. And though I'm not the biggest fan of the platinum color scheme, it doesn't always work like with the merchandise. It doesn't work in some cases. It's a little too much. But as far as the castle goes, this looks pretty good. It's not excessive, pretty tasteful, though I do think the castle would probably look just as good without the banners on the far left and far right. They're a little bit much. But I mean, it's fine. It looks great. Not pictured but mentioned in the update there's going to be a lot of new food, new merch. So expect a merch and foodie guide from Disney sometime after the holiday season ends, right around January 8th. And we've also got more details on two new shows that are going to be premiering for this new celebration. World of Color 1, which will tell a new story of how a single action, like a drop of water, can create a ripple that can grow into a wave of change. This is per Disney. And that show will also feature a new song, Start a Wave. The new fireworks show will be called Wondrous Journeys, and will feature nods to every Walt Disney Studio film to date. So expect a lot of nostalgic classic references, and I would assume no references to Pixar anywhere. I don't know if that's good or bad, just saying. And then expect more projection effects on Main Street, the Castle, Small World, and the Rivers of America. Per the update, on select nights, you're going to get fireworks as well. So I assume that means the weekends, another situation where it's weekends only with the fireworks. Weekdays are going to be just projections. And by the way, I feel like them saying this, it feels like they're putting the focus. They want the center of the show to be, the priority is the projections. The projections are now the show, and the fireworks are the extra. And it goes towards a point that I've been observing for the past few years, in that Disney is trying to sort of drift away, slowly but surely, away from fireworks being the end-all and be-all for nighttime spectaculars, and they're trying to put more focus on shows that have projections and making that the center of the show. So I don't know if this is I don't know if it's intentional or not, but the way that they worded this suggests to me that that's something that we should be looking forward to in the future. There will be a new song for this show as well. It's Wondrous, which we heard at D23, and I really liked it. It's a classic, traditional Disney show song, and I think the guests are really going to love it. Next, Disney confirmed that Magic Happens will be back in the spring of 2023, and thank goodness. We have been waiting so very patiently for a daytime parade, so this might be some of the best news from this update. Even better, Magic Happens will be brand new for a lot of guests visiting the park next year, because it was only running for, what, a couple weeks before the park shut down, and it hasn't returned since. I've only seen it myself just the one time. Well, one day. I saw it twice in the one day when it opened, and I have not seen it since. I really liked it, though. I liked it more than Soundsational, and I can't wait for the rest of the Disneyland community to see this parade for the first time. And so far, that's all we know about the Walt Disney Company celebration, the 100th birthday celebration. But I'm expecting to find out more. We'll stay tuned, for example, like I said, for the foodie guide. And with that, let's get back to some thoughts we have about Toontown and Runaway Railway. It'll open on the 27th, on the day that the whole celebration begins, but the rest of Toontown will not be open. They're going to keep that closed. That will not be reopening until spring of next year. Now, it shouldn't be difficult to pull this off, I don't think. The tunnel, the entrance into Toontown, feeds pretty much directly right into the entrance of Runaway Railway, plus the exit for the attraction is also right next to it. So I feel like it easily fits within whatever little sequestered area that they create for Runaway Railway. Now, it's possible that we might also see the return of Roger Rabbit. I don't see any reason why they couldn't. Roger Rabbit exists within that same sequestered space as Runaway Railway does. Keep trying to say that 50 times during a news update. That's a tongue twister. I don't see any reason why they shouldn't or couldn't open Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin. It's right there. The only thing that might be a problem with that is that they're not done with whatever areas in front of Roger Rabbit. There used to be a fountain there. They took that out. If that space is not complete, that could be a reason. Maybe the facade's not complete, could be a reason. But I feel like the actual attraction itself should be show ready. And opening that would also give the park some much needed capacity. Now, I mention this because of the relationship that this attraction, Runaway and Roger Rabbit, have with the update for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. It is my belief that the reason why they have decided to open Runaway Railway 2 months early or ahead of the scheduled spring opening for Toontown, you might want to ask, why? What's the rush? Why not wait until Toontown is open and do the whole thing all at once? It seems like it would be, because it's only a few months. But it is my belief that Disney wants to get started as soon as possible. They want to get Tiana started, but they can't start that project until they finish at least Runaway Railway. And not just in terms of the crew, the workforce needed to do the actual construction work, but also with respect to the park's capacity. The overall park capacity is just an issue of math. Every attraction, every ride, every show, every dining location, every gift shop, and the streets, they all have a certain amount of capacity attached to it. And then you add all of those up, and that is your total park capacity. So anytime you have an attraction that closes for an entire day, that reduces the total number of guests that Disney can allow into the park. So opening Runaway Railway will allow them to maintain the same max capacity level that they're operating at now if they were to close, or when they decide to close Splash Mountain for the Tiana update. Which, by the way, now that we're having this conversation, it should be noted, I feel like them doing this, them making that decision suggests to me, again, this is just a sort of inference that I'm taking from this news, it suggests to me that Disney is operating at 100% capacity. There are no restrictions right now. They are full to the, or they're at least allowing the guests to be filled to the brim. So I can't wait. I can't wait for the 100th to start. I can't wait to see the new costumes. Can't wait to see the new shows. Can't wait to try the new food. And I cannot wait to ride Runaway Railway. Would you believe, by the way, that I have yet to see any ride-through footage of that attraction? I have abstained from watching that intentionally, knowing that it was going to be coming to Disneyland. So I have not seen any footage other than what we see, the behind-the-scenes type stuff, like the TikTok video that Disney did recently about the construction of Runaway Railway. So I'm excited to see how this. It looks great. The reviews have been pretty good. That I heard. God, it seems like a long time ago, but I'm really looking forward to being able to ride this attraction for the first time. Oh, and then one last thing that Disney slipped into the back end of this announcement: reservations are paused. We did a video the other day talking about how the single-day ticket reservation calendar has been stuck for got to be a couple of weeks now on January 8th. We should be well into January in terms of making reservations, but it's been stuck on January 8th. Disney hasn't said why they're doing that, but they did acknowledge it in that Parks blog update. Per Disney, as you begin to plan your trip to visit Disneyland Resort for the Disney 100th anniversary, please know that theme park reservation availability for Disneyland Park and Disney California Adventure is currently paused for dates beyond January 8th, 2023, and will resume for guests in the coming weeks. Now, just saying this adds a little bit more mystery to this situation because, when we posted our vlog about that the other day, one of the leading theories was that they were doing this because they were expecting to increase prices around that time. Makes sense. You don't want to have a calendar reflect a price that won't be in effect at the time, when that date actually comes around. But I kind of think they wouldn't make this announcement. I kind of think that they wouldn't acknowledge that situation if it were just for a price increase. It's kind of hard to articulate this, but I feel like they would want to not put any more attention on that situation. They wouldn't want to acknowledge it even. They would just quietly increase the prices on the day that they're going to do it. So it could be a possibility that the pause in the reservation calendar has nothing to do with prices, but it does actually have to do with the opening of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Obviously, when January 27th comes around, those reservation dates are going to be hard to come by. They're going to be very competitive. People are going to they want to be there for opening day. That's a thing that we do at Disney parks. We try to be there the first day, right? Not just me, but lots of guests are going to be there. And I get the feeling that they wanted to make this announcement before that date came up, the January 27th date came up for reservation. They want people to be aware, in case they want to change their plans, they want people to be aware that there's going to be something happening on the 27th. That seems like the most logical thing. But having said that, do expect a price increase in January or February. I cannot remember, since I've been covering the Disney company, I can't remember the last time they didn't raise prices right around the February mark. Okay, a couple more stories before we go. Disney has added a new perk to the purchase of Genie Plus, lenses. These are filters, much like the magic shots you get when using a PhotoPass photographer, but these don't require PhotoPass. You can do these on your own. Some require you to be in a certain part of the park in order to get the full effect. Others you can do anywhere. Either way, you can do these on your own and are part of your Genie Plus purchase. Liz and I hope to test this out sometime next week, so stay tuned. Here's some news that makes me very happy. Guided tours are back. They're back right now. You can book one right now. There will be 2 guided tours. The first is the Holiday Time at the Disneyland Resort tour, and the second is the Walt's Main Street Story tour. And it's this one that has really got my attention because it sounds an awful lot like the Walk in Walt's Footsteps tour, and that one was great. You get, obviously, a walking tour down Main Street, which I'm sure they're going to fill up with fun little stories and anecdotes about Walt and the Main Street history. But the real draw is the visit to Walt's apartment above the Main Street Fire Department. It's one of the most sacred places in all of Disneyland, a place filled with history and the spirit of Walt himself. You won't feel closer, in my opinion, to Walt Disney than you would being in that room, being in Walt's apartment. But even better, guests get to go out on the patio. Now, I don't remember, when I did this tour, I don't remember if we were able to go on the patio. I know we got to look at it at least, but if you didn't then, you can now. You get to go on the patio and have refreshments. You get to have a snack and a drink and sit there in a place, watch Disneyland guests go by in a way that surely Walt Disney himself did. Watching guests go in and get ready to embark on one of the most magical adventures that they could ever have at Disneyland, and feeling the pride that he must have felt watching people flood into his park. It makes me so happy that guests are going to be able to somehow connect to that experience. And if you were to ask me, David, how much would you pay to go into Walt's apartment, feel that space, see everything, see the lamp, see the phone, see all the decorations in there, and go out on the patio and do a thing that Walt Disney himself did? How much would you pay for that? I'm pretty sure the number that I would suggest would be more than $160, but that is the price for this tour, $160. That seems like it could be a lot, but really, it depends on what you value. And I have a feeling the people who are going to be going on this tour are going to find that that is a tremendous value. You can book one of these right now on the Disneyland website. The tours are up and running. And I'm not sure how soon I'm going to be able to do this, but you can count on us doing what. I know you can't vlog this, though, so I'm sorry to say in advance, I don't even think you can take pictures, to be honest. So we'll do the tour, and then we'll talk about our experience, but I'm looking forward to being able to do that very soon. By the way, there's another tour, the holiday time tour at the Disneyland Resort. It's a 2.5-hour walking tour where your guide will share holiday traditions from around the world, presumably as reflected in the park. You'll also have reserved viewing for the Christmas Fantasy Parade, holiday treats, and a special ride-through of It's a Small World. The tour runs $110, and by the way, both of these tours do not come with admission. You have to also pay for a ticket into the park, be that a single-day ticket, or if you have a magic key, you can use that, of course, to make a reservation. But you do have to have, that's paid for separately. And there you go, guys. That's our news for today. Do let us know your thoughts on all of this in the comments below. And then until next time, follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked, on TikTok at FreshBakedDisney, and on Twitter at FreshBakedDisney. That's fresh with no E. I said that in the wrong order, but that's okay. And if you want to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/FreshBaked. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. And Fresh Baked.